Hey, what up out there? It's your boy from Brooklyn, Shannon Ambrosio, just saying, are you guys ready for another Everything and Nothing podcast on this wonderful, wonderful Sunday evening? It's early evening, and I'm sorry for the delay again, but this is a live show that I do every Sunday, so if I have things to do or I got some other shit going on, I'm taking care of things. I'm sorry, folks. Hold on. I've been a bad podcast host. But that's what's going down, folks. It's another Everything and Nothing podcast with your boy from Brooklyn. You know how it goes. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the YouTube and make sure we have connection and make sure we have sound and everything is good. And then we're going to get right into this thing. I'm super duper stoked. You see, I got my boy here with me. What's up, man? That's how it's going down.
Brooklyn's in the house.
That's usually how it works.
It's a Brooklyn thing.
That's usually how it works here. You know, my heart always lives in Brooklyn. So when it comes to certain things like that, all right, I got to turn the volume down on this. That's first of all. And next thing I got to do is we'll skip the ads for now and make sure it looks like everything's good. We got live feed. I hear myself. I hear sound. Let's see what we have here. So everybody's good. Everybody can hear me. This is good. Listen to me. I'm super duper stoked about today, right? I told everybody I was just going to start having guests on the podcast again. And today will be the first. I modified the mics. I didn't do yours. I didn't do that one yet, but I will. I'm going to modify the mic stands a little bit. But I'm super duper stoked out there, folks. And we're going to be talking about, like, Rob and I go back a long time. We're both born and raised in Brooklyn, the same neighborhood, the whole 9 yards. But we found a friendship through something that we did and we both loved, which is, you can see out here, I have some of the leather work and Rob has some of his out there in front of us. And I told you it was in the fashion industry and I did this leather thing for a long time and I really did. And Rob is just amazing at the craft as well. So with no further ado, my man, who is definitely got some skill level that's beyond what anybody could even imagine, and you'll see he'll show you. But let me tell you something. There's a difference between carving out a friendship and tooling out a friendship. And today, my man right here will show you how we carved out a friendship through the leather work that we did together. So no further ado, my man, Mr. Rob CORRAR.
Well, listen, I gotta lean over, and I definitely gotta give this man the pounds that he deserves.
2 pounds.
Okay. Look, this is all special for me here. Seeing how this man is set up, everything he creates, everything he does, full-fledged. I mean, he's across the board. When it was the leather, it was the leather. When he started cooking, he got down and he cooked. He barbecued.
I chefed it up.
Yeah, it's all nonstop with Mr. Shannon Ambrosi. There's no question about that. I'm so happy to be sitting where I am right now and to be spending this time.
Listen, if he makes me cry, I'm going to punch him in his lip.
All I know is I sat down and had a 2-inch steak already, so
listen,
I can't do no wrong.
I'll throw up some pictures of the fat porterhouse I cooked us. You heard? Listen to me, folks. You know how that goes. I'll roll out the food soon. But I haven't seen Rob in quite a few years. And this is the part of the thing that I talk about a lot on my podcast, and that's creating a lifetime of memories and friendships that carry throughout years. And I talked last couple of weeks back on the podcast about how I think memories transcend and they carry through. So knowing people and having memories with people and being comfortable in other people's presence, believe me when I tell you, Rob, has something to do with transcendence. So the idea is that we know each other lifetimes, most likely.
That's right. Times can go on.
Yeah.
Things don't change.
No. We think
times change, but things don't.
Right. That's such a true fact. I just absolutely love that.
For real.
Yeah. So Rob is going to say hello to everybody out there. This is my boy. And when I tell you, love, like, we know each other for a long time, but besides that, our brothers are friends, our families are friends. Like, it's just the way it is. But his craftsmanship is, in what he does, is just absolutely amazing. But also, again, So this whole idea of creating and having a mind that's just imaginative, and the idea of doing things in the creative form, he's got the same love and passion that I do, and that's think of things strategically and in a way, and then basically apply them, make them do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, pretty much. Look, we never say we can't.
Right.
We tackle it. Oh, we get it.
Rob, that's amazing.
Yes. Can't is not part of the vocabulary, whether it's myself or the children.
Anybody.
That's right. It teach the children not to use a word like that.
Yeah.
Look, it's all about the creativity, the construction.
Yeah.
It's a long time coming. I put this on hold. It's been in boxes. I'm for this. I'm ready.
Yeah. We Rob and I had a small little leather studio in Brooklyn for a little while, and it did for me what it was supposed to do. It pushed me into a bigger realm than I thought was out there. So initially, doing leather work, again, I told everybody out there, I wanted to be a saddle maker, crazy dude from Brooklyn, right? So I go out west and I learn and do all these things. But when I came back here and I started the studio, it was good because it really pushed me into that idea that my knowledge and the idea of my part of the process when I work on leather is more of the engineering construction. It's a lot of the creativity, but the engineering construction and the way how things are done. Like I'm a systematic type person, right? I like things to
flow. Yeah,
in a certain manner and have a process and all that. So I got into the engineering side, and it pushed me into the fashion industry, and I did really well. And like I said, I showed everybody I have a United States government patent, the whole idea, but the idea is that this is where it all started. And Rob, let me tell you something. Show him the card that you made me for my birthday. I don't know. Remember how old I was. 30, I got to get some water. I'm thirsty.
32. It's actually a leather card. Yeah. And I'll read it. Happy 32nd birthday, Shannon. 2001.
32. Stop telling them. Then they're going to know how old I am. Everybody's gonna do the math in their heads now.
Here it is. Here's to forever friendships and a lifetime of leather.
Yeah.
Happy 32nd, big guy. Much love. Me, my wife, my children, Eric and Abby.
So if you're not gonna be able to see, and I don't know if I'll put up some pictures later on or whatever the case may be, but this whole thing is made out of veg tan leather. The whole thing. So all the words and all the graphics that he did, I mean, the binding, the sewing, all hand sewn, all hand dyed, tanned, punched. I mean, everything. Absolutely incredible. And I'll put a picture of this because this really does, right? This is the epitome. And it says it right there.
It's like it was made yesterday.
Yes.
Yes. Leather's forever.
Leather is forever. And all you people out there with your little ridiculous comments out there, you ain't the whole leather. Listen, go get your GIMP mask and do whatever you want. Just don't bring it over here. All right. But, excuse me, as far as this goes, and none of those crazy comments because you're going to get the goat. Don't get the goat today, okay? Don't embarrass me, you people, in front of my boy Rob here. But when you find a commonality with somebody, if you're friends with somebody, because we knew each other prior to the idea of this, but we really became close friends when we started doing some of this together, but not just that. It was the idea of doing it.
I would say we linked putting a shop together. Yeah. That was big.
Yeah.
And I was like, I did this many years before I met Shannon.
Yeah.
And then it was more, I was just making like an outfit line.
Right.
Which, production on that, which this is something completely different than the construction of an,
Yeah. Because the idea of the craft. So when a lot of people think of leather, right? I mean, the immediate thing that comes to mind is like, oh, leather jackets, leather clothing,
a garment.
Right? A garment. But when you think of, first of all, it's utilitarian, right? So the idea is that this is the utility side to leather, and it dates back, Roman times, every war.
That's right.
What's funny is that most people don't know, and I don't have any here either, but leather was armor at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
True.
it was hard to cut through, right? So, I mean, and eventually they made,
Protective.
they made metal, but a stingray fish, the outside, any skin can be leather, or all skin is leather. So the outside skin of a skate or stingray has skin almost that's literally hard as rocks.
That's right.
Yeah. And the samurai, in case you don't know, here's another little helpful piece of information for you. The samurai warriors, true fact, used to use that type of skin, stingray, for armor because you couldn't slice it with a sword. You could stab through it eventually if you poke somebody, but it was much harder skin. So it was used for armor for samurai warriors, which I think is absolutely incredible and fantastic. But
and it beats wearing chainmail, I guess.
Yeah, for weight, I'm guessing too.
Right.
Right? That
just to be mobile and to actually be able to fight.
Yes.
It had to make a big difference.
Yes. So it's just an incredible thing. And here's one of the things that I like a lot about working with this medium. And first of all, it's a natural organic product. Yes. And the idea that the cycle that it takes, right? So cows and bulls and all that are not just used for food.
For me, that's right.
Right. So the whole, I know a lot of times people get with this whole animal advocacy and all this other stuff, but when you think about the process of how far we've come with the idea of how much of the animal we actually use, it really does bring the whole circle, right? So this is used for making things, garments. Just about.
I look at leather and I think of leather differently than most. Leather can be incorporated into every aspect of life. Sport, activity, leisure, work, trade.
Yes.
Any and everything. Leather's there.
Gaskets used to be made for engines out of leather. So really the idea and the use of the material is incredible. The range is so vast, right?
It's across the board.
No.
Across the board.
And everybody loves the smell of new leather seats anyway. Or a new leather jacket. It's the truth, right? You put on a new leather jacket, like, my goodness, it smells good. It don't really smell like that when you first get it. That's probably just the chemicals that they tan it with.
Finishes,
But the finishes they use. Because this doesn't, well, it does. Like when you get it in veg tan state, it does smell, you do smell the leather.
We deal with it in the rarest form.
Yes.
Because it's still skin.
Yes.
There aren't finishes on it.
Right. Well, there's no finishes on it, but it's tanned. Like we couldn't work in raw leather. Raw leather, you can't do anything with. Skins for drums. Did you hear that? Skins for drums made out of leather. So just to give you an idea of what, how many utility uses that leather has is incredible. But that's how Rob and I became really close friends. We would sit in the shop and tool leather and tell everybody, Rob, what's the difference? Like people call it carving leather, and it's really not. What is it?
Carving seems like carving takes away.
Right.
That's what carving does. If you're carving wood, you're channeling out of it. Tooling is adding. So it's not carved. It's hand tooled. You're tooling. I don't care a pattern. I don't care. It's one of a kind.
Yes.
I don't care if you make 10 of them. All 10 of them are different.
Right. Well, the skin properties.
Well, right to everything from again, tooling to finishing to when you're dyeing. Look, paint goes on top.
Yes.
Dyes absorb in. So there's so much involved in it that people would never understood unless
they did it.
Unless they did it or some type of tutorial on it.
Right. Well, which is great because maybe we push Rob into the fact. I'm trying to push Rob into the fact that maybe starting a little video series here where he does some leather tooling, which is totally amazing to watch. Right. I know you're not really going to see much of it, and I should have took some pictures early and I didn't, but because Rob was here and I was excited and I was cooking dinner and doing all kinds of shit, and so, but Rob did that for me too. That was all hand tooled. That's when we had the little studio in Brooklyn. It was called Second Skins, right? So Second play on life. Second skin, as in the idea that, you know, the animals, the skin of the animal is getting a second life. So that was the reason the name of the studio came about, Second Skins.
And I'm just amazed that these pieces look like they did
Yeah.
when they were made.
Yeah. And it's
And we're about 5 or 6 years later.
Yeah, let's just say that. We're about 5 or 6 years later. Okay. But I absolutely, when I started the studio with Rob, when we built out the studio and it was done, it really put me in a place where I became very comfortable with doing very creative things all the time. Like, it truly pushed me in a direction where I finally was like, okay, I can do this. This will provide a good way of living for me. And it really allows me to use this material in a way that looks okay and it's utility used. So belts and wallets and books, and I got into everything, furniture upholstery, garment making, and that's how I got into, you know, doing the business, working for big, large corporations like Coach. I worked for Kenneth Cole. I designed for all these people: Coach, Kenneth Cole, Sears, Kmart, Land's End. I designed accessories for all these companies, you know, big stuff. With Coach, I helped engineer the first iPod friggin' holder out of leather. Mm-hmm. So, you know, and my patents. So the idea of the material and working with it and starting the studio really pushed me to decide to do this as, you know, as a career. And I'm hoping Rob is going to get into this, and he's just amazingly talented. I'm going to post some pictures of our work later on my Instagram feed. So make sure, look, right here, Rob, here goes my first one. So make sure everybody is subscribed to my social media. There's my social medias there. So make sure you go down, subscribe, and follow me on my social medias. Rob, I don't know if you have any social media yet. I'm working on it?
I'm going to be working on it.
Okay, so I'm going to get all the links to everything that Rob is going to be doing going forward, and I'm going to put them in my description so you guys can find Rob on his social media, or if he starts a small YouTube channel.
You know what we got to do first? I mean, I got to build the shop first.
Right. Well,
I'm waiting on the location.
Right. So we got to get the shop started a little bit first. I get it.
Construction. Construction has to happen first.
So here's the other part. So, right, Rob and I do the leather work, and we're both carpenters. So it really does.
Hand in hand.
Yeah, we string along. What's funny in this idea of this, you know, thought to hand to finished product together, right? We have the same theory and the same process that we both like to do, and that's, you know, think of something and then create it, and then it becomes finished.
It's hard to actually tell somebody and expect them to do what you want.
Right.
You know, well, you have to be hands-on.
What are you telling?
Oh, hell no.
Most people are like, I could do that. And I'm like,
oh, hell no.
No, you can't.
Exactly. We want things certain ways. It's just to make everything roll and catch the momentum that we need to drive for everything to work.
Yeah, the creative force. You got to have, listen, if you're working with somebody who's not that creative, or maybe just really doesn't want to do the work, it's kind of hard. You know, it's like anything else. You're going to get the bull to move if you don't want to move. That's it.
You know, you mentioned the saddles. I'm excited about building a saddle. I'm going to make a saddle.
It's a lot of work.
Listen, look, goals are goals, but
yeah,
I'm looking.
If it's on the list, listen to me. It's on the list. You have to do it.
Yes,
you have to, and you have the talent to do it.
I'm going to say it again.
Yes, but you got to stick with it. You got to see that whole project through and make a saddle. And a saddle is not something like most people think of saddles because they only see them on a horse. First of all, I know some of the most incredible saddle makers in the entire friggin' world. But anyway, let me go back again. Here's another one. Again, the cleaver that I wear was made by a master jeweler and somebody who's a saddle maker, Mr. Hugh Weaver. And eventually I will have him on the show. He's incredible. In that book over there is a bunch of his work, his silver work and gold. But he made the cleaver and he's done everything. And he's one of my friends that I mentioned about the memories thing. And I got some of his work, and I have some of his physical work too, his jewelry and whatnot. Absolutely incredible. And you know, what's funny is that the idea of doing leather work is kind of a niche. Like, it's a very small, you know, well, it's a different thing, right? The idea of the talent is different. Yes, you know, I mean, you can go somewhere and get a pattern made and make a handbag or make a book or whatever and bring it to some factory and let them make it. But this is all done by hand. Tell them how long it takes. So let's give them an idea, right? So that's a wallet that you made there, right?
This here, I mean, look, they make clutch bags. They make something similar to this that you can buy a kit. But this, I created this myself.
Right.
Over 30 years ago.
Start to finish.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, did you hear that, folks? Over 30 years ago.
I know how many holes were put in here. It got me from point to point. It's larger than the average clutch bags that are sold. Yeah, start to finish. Like
open that up.
The tooling on this.
Yeah. Come on, that thing is amazing.
The full tooling on this. I mean, look, this was made back in the days when you had checkbooks. Like everybody don't use the checkbook.
You heard what he
anymore.
said when we had checkbooks. We don't even use them anymore. We carry debit cards.
Look, the little pen holder.
Right. I mean, some people still use checks. Some people still write checks.
A plastic sleeve for credit cards and all your plastics. And,
right. Coins.
And the coins.
We don't even use money no more.
Yeah, like it's.
But.
It held its own. Look at
it. Right. Come on. 30 years old.
This thing's over 30 years
absolutely
old. Yeah,
incredible.
Who would have thought?
So it's wonderful. But the idea of the craftsmanship is bar none. That's number one. But honing your craft, I talk about this a lot, Rob, to people, is that honing your craft, going and doing something because you have a passion for it, or you just have this idea that you want to know so much and do so much with that one thing, right? And Rob has that. He has that drive to do these things. And it's just incredible when you see it. You know, it's like anything else. When you go and see somebody who's a great painter or a great sculptor or a great writer or what have you, or a great chef, you absolutely are enamored by their talent.
That's right.
And it's not just about the idea of you know, oh, they're good at that because they had it in them. I said, no. My man Rob sat for hours and learned how to do this. Tell him, like, how long does a piece like this take?
This here, look, this doesn't happen in hours.
No.
This
days,
doesn't,
weeks.
Yeah, this doesn't happen in hours. It takes a day just to lace it. I mean, forget about anything else.
Yeah. Just the lacing alone. Yeah. And what's funny is that, Rob, you could tell him, years ago, we probably cut the lace ourselves from a lace maker.
Yeah.
Some places didn't even have, because here's the deal. If you wanted to lace something on a piece that you made and the leather didn't match and you had to buy leather lace that was already done and it didn't match the skin that you had, you would make the lace on your own and then stitch it. So you're talking about a little bit of work, but...
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah. But it is all worth it, you know?
Again, when it lasts as long as it lasts, it's worth it.
Yes. And the idea of, like I said, carving out friendships, we've been friends, you know, for such a long time, and then we haven't seen each other for a while. And you know what's funny? The first thing we both asked each other was, you know, hey, have you done any leather work lately?
It's funny. What I say, I'm about to open the boxes.
So
I'm waiting to open the boxes.
It's crazy. And, you know, my capacity for leather, you know, streams along different variances, right? So the other day I went into the fashion industry and I got into leather accessory making for high-end companies and then doing work all over, you know, seas, internationally and what have you. And I kind of got the understanding of the retail and business side of things, right? Because the idea is being a craftsman is incredible, right? And if you can make a living doing this, even better, because the pieces are far and few in between. They take much longer to make, but you could charge a lot more money for something like this. And the longevity of it is there, right? Because it's not disposable. You know, tell everybody, Rob, like the idea is that you don't make these things to get rid of them.
No. Look, it's like giving up one of your own when they walk out the door. It's something special. That's why for me to even see these pieces that I'm seeing today, I forgot what they look like. I mean, and again, they look like they were made 5-6 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
I don't
no.
even know how to say it.
No, these things look good enough to have made them last week. That's how incredible they look, they feel, the way they're holding up. Like, this thing has no sign of wear, not whatsoever. And he made this as like a, like a birthday card where he carved all these things and wrote something really nice in there for me. But I use these to hold notepads, the insides. And it's funny because he had mentioned to me, so, I was thinking about something like that. Would you use something like that? I said, yeah, I would love something like that, because I put notepads in here. And then I carry this thing with me. No, this thing will last me a lifetime. So tell everybody.
You can actually smack somebody in tomorrow with this thing.
Yeah, that thing's heavy duty.
I mean.
Look, do we always go right back to violence?
I
Wait.
just looked at him.
You ready?
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
So, I say these things to people is that, when you find the common ground with somebody that you're already friends with, it's like being friends with somebody and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, you like peanut butter and jelly and banana sandwiches too? It's like all of a sudden now you have this one more thing that really tightens the bond in your friendship. I think it keeps the idea that we're much more similar than we are different.
Yeah, I concur.
So when you think about things like this, and then, having somebody who has a common interest and you're both passionate about that one thing and the conversations go on for a long time, ideas tend to get, become much more prominent, whereas before they were just thoughts, right? But when you find somebody to kick things off, that's why being friends.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you come to me like, hey, I was thinking about carving this about this. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. You should do that. Because you need that, right? So that's what I said, you're carving out friendships for lifetimes. It's not just this one.
That's right.
You're going to carve out those friendships. You're going to be friends for however long I think the energies last and however long you guys decide to stay friends. Because, there's a way that you speak and communicate with somebody that I think you have a lot more common interest in than you do with somebody you don't, right? It's like that casual conversation with the hell we talking about the weather. After a while, how long does that last?
Out the door.
Yeah. So it doesn't last too long.
On to the next.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. But I'm excited about Rob being here. That's number one, because of, the friendship that we have. But number two, because of the ideas that it's nice to see that he hasn't discouraged himself from continuing on with something that gives him happiness, creativity, and all those other things. To me, that's the greatest part about this, is that you don't lose the love for this thing. You know?
It's there. I believe that, and I'm excited for the kids to, like, they're excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And they're gonna see all the great things that you can do.
That's right.
Your creativity is in a different thing than I think most people think about being an artist or being creative. People have a tendency to think about things differently, right? So if you drew or painted the picture, everybody would be like, oh my God, he's an artist or whatever. And I go, no, have you seen this? Have you seen the work that he's done? He's an artist, because it's there. You can see it. It has to be living in your mind. And then the ability to actually do it is a whole nother thing. Yeah. All hand stitched. Come on, tell them what you did here. I'm tired of doing all the talking. Tell them what you got here.
Look, we're going to do more than tell. We're going to show you.
Yeah.
We're going to show you. It's about to happen. Shannon's going to put it out there. This whole land out there. He's going to let you know when it pops, when it happens.
When it's going down.
All right?
When it's going down.
It's very near.
It's close.
It's close. It's close.
It's close. It's close.
All right. I'm going to keep coming back and spending some time here and
learning.
And learning all of this nice stuff, because this is important in today's time and age.
You can't sell something or get rid of something without having social media or a way to get it out there on the internet.
Sure.
That's number one, right? So listen to me. I'm going to go through the gamut, right? And I'm going to, first thing I think we're going to do is we're going to say hello to everybody out there that's with us, right, Rob? Say hello to
Sounds good.
Sailor.
Sailor, pleasure.
What's up? We got Leah with us, Debbie Deb, Gina's with us, Yolanda's with us, Cece. Yo, Danny Gagliotti. What up, Gags? What up, what
Everybody's
up?
following here.
Thomas is with us. We got a lot of pieces up there. Need the Goma Pile sound by surprise. You ain't kidding, Thomas. It's on my list. I got to get some more sounds programmed in here. But yes, it's on my list.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise. So listen to me. If you have any questions or comments about leatherwork, about what it takes to get started in doing leatherwork, tooling leather, creating things, is just leave it in the comments below, because I myself, and I will be taxing Rob now for some help with this, because true leather craftsmen, there's a few of them that we know and that I know personally. There's a few of them out there, right? And I'm not just talking about, the idea of like people who are like, oh, and I watched videos. I watch all the building and how-to videos or whatever, Sometimes you just watch people like, yeah, I get it. All right, so you want to do a little leather work. No. Rob is a master craftsman. Me, I don't have as much tooling knowledge and all that stuff, but in the leather world and in that fashion industry, I am an expert at what I do. So the idea is, if you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. You want to know anything about leather work, tooling, I'll answer them as best I can for you. I'll put you in a decent direction,
There you go.
And Rob is absolutely amazing at what he does. So we're going to be on the lookout for, his work. And as soon as everything gets settled up and the shop is open that he's going to be working out of, I will post all these things.
Bobby Bots is back.
Yeah, Bobby Bots, crazy Bobby. So the idea is, in case you don't know out there, tell everybody what bots means.
Bots is
Yeah, you're a little in the head right there. You got a little craziness going on right there every once in a while.
That's all right. Everybody got to have a little.
You listen to me. Everybody needs a little more than a little. You heard. You got to be a little crazy to live. Period. End. I don't care what anybody says. So that's what's going on right there. You know how it works. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any of this great content that I have coming up. I got an itch on my elbow. Sorry.
I'm telling you, the man does it all.
Almost.
There's nothing he doesn't do.
I don't cut hair. Just
I
sorry.
wasn't looking for a haircut anyways.
I just letting everybody know I don't cut hair. That's the way it is. But please make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my content. And don't forget, you know how it goes, right? Get your bell rung with your boy from Brooklyn. Ring that bell so you get notified this way when I put up a video on YouTube or I'm doing my live feed on Sundays for the Everything and Nothing podcast.
And obviously it can be about anything here. You see it? You see how it rolls? Go figure.
That's why you got to get your bell rung.
Yeah.
So you guys get notified when I'm on YouTube or I put a video up, right? So I'm also in the description, which I leave now on all the podcasts. In the description, you will see links to my cooking and eating videos and my building and fixing videos. And I'm sure Rob is going to come back. First of all, now that Rob and I, well, like I said, we've been friends forever, but the idea of us talking again closely and collaborating on some things, I guarantee you're going to see a video. We're going to do a leather video. For sure, on the building and fixing channel, without a doubt. And we'll show some techniques, and Rob will show some tooling techniques, and he'll show you how to tool some stuff, and I'll show you maybe how to fabricate some stuff, some pattern making and things like that, which is right up my alley, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're interested in the building and fixing and the cooking and eating videos, they're in the description below. There's a link. You click on it, it brings you to the playlist. So this way you don't get bored. You don't just have to watch the podcast, right? Or listen to the podcast.
So much.
There's just a lot sometimes. Yeah. So next week
I got to catch up.
You got ketchup? We're making burgers, maybe. Ketchup. So I get really, in tune with my guests when they come off. We all know that, right? Because my guests influence what the podcast is about. I haven't had guests on in a while, but Rob has really awoken my spirit in making sure that I have a lot of talented friends out there, and I know a lot of talented people, and I really would love for them to come on the podcast to, showcase what they do and the things that really show who they are, and to look at Rob's work so many years later and see how wonderful it is, So tell everybody What are some of the tools that you use to do tooling? So somebody might get familiar with them.
Well, by far my favorite would be that swivel knife.
The swivel knife.
Yeah, I own about half a dozen of them.
Yeah.
I don't like changing blades on them.
Right.
I keep different blades on each one.
Hold that one up so that they could see the front.
Yeah, we
right?
got a nice skull on this.
Right. So you'll see there, if you look inside there, that whole front cover of that binder that Rob made for me is all hand tooled. So that's all tooled inside a veg tan leather hide on both sides.
We got a tree on the inside. We got some animals.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's all hand tooled. Little hand tools. It's all hand
We
tooled.
got a geometric pattern.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Look, what's amazing is anything that can be put on paper
Can be put into leather.
can definitely be put into leather.
And for a while I was doing, let me show you some of this. Let's see. You're not going to be able to see some of the pictures, but I'm going to post up some of them, I think, on my social media. So make sure you're going over to my social media and you're following me, because I'm going to post some pictures on my social media.
They're going to have to work for it.
Yes. Of your leather work and some of my leather work. And you could, all the social media contacts are inside the description too, all the links to everything, right? And listen to me. If you think this is great and somebody else might be interested in doing some leather work, whatever, make sure you're sharing the video here. Make sure you're sharing the podcast. You can do it now too. If you know somebody who's into this, just share it with them right now so they could watch the podcast. Yeah, that's what's up right there. But we'll put some pictures up. I made this 3-ring binder. It was funny because we had this thing for 3-ring binders, me and you. Because we wanted to have pictures in the binders of our stuff, of our work. So I made this leather binder here, and the whole spine of this is made out of anaconda. It's real anaconda snake skin right here, which I like the exotic skins, right? So I worked a lot of them. So this was some of the stuff that I did. There's only one leather magazine or leather crafters magazine in existence, and this is it. It's the Leather Crafters. It's called the Leather Crafters and Saddlers Journal. I don't even know if they're in business anymore, but I bet they are, because it's the only one that ever existed.
I think they are, and believe it or not, I have some issues of these that are dating back into the late 80s. I mean, the late 80s.
Late 80s.
87, 88.
Incredible.
I have some of them that go back that far.
This issue right here, I was in this issue. I got a spread in here.
Oh, awesome.
So they did. I'm the only. So listen to me. This is very popular, of course, we know, in the Western culture, right? So I redid and restored a trunk that was from Peru that was historical, and they brought it to me. This
like what, 1870s?
Yeah, it was like late 1800s. So somebody brought me this trunk, and the whole thing was covered in tooled leather, and they didn't know, nobody could do the work. So they found me, and I was commissioned, and I restored this antique Peruvian leather trunk. And they did a whole spread on me. 3 pages, 1, 2, 3 whole pages on your boy right there. In the only leather magazine that exists. And I had an article in here. Rob, let me put on my glasses. Say hello to everybody out there, Rob. Tell them what's up. The leather mask that I made.
You know.
So this issue was from, oh my goodness. This is January, February issue, 2005, volume 15, number 1, the Leather Crafters and Saddlers Journal. And yeah, your boy had a 3-page spread in that one right there. That's what's up. Bing, bang, boom, Bob's your uncle. But this magazine is the only one that exists where you can learn about leather crafting, leather tooling, leather making. This is where it all begins. What's funny is because this brought me across the country. And that's how I met my buddy Hugh with this thing right here, going to one of these events that they had. So, if you're into, and you might think you might be into it, leave it in the questions and comments. I'll put you in the direction maybe. Like I said, look up the Leather Crafters and Saddlers Journal. You'll dig it. And Rob's going to be putting out some stuff soon, and I'm excited about that,
Yeah.
Gonna have a little studio in Brooklyn.
Real soon.
Yeah.
Brooklyn's custom.
Yeah. and we're gonna post everything once we get everything settled up with Rob, and he's got his social media and all that other stuff. We'll link it all up. You heard? And this way you guys can find Rob, because if you want something special made for somebody, yo, this man right here, talent is in his veins, and the idea that the leather work is at his fingertips is just incredible. So you know, we're gonna find a way to reach out to him, and everybody is gonna love it. Yo, what up? So we got a lot of Jimmy Daly. Yo, Jimmy, what are you up? Sunday? What do you do? You're supposed to be. You need to get some sleep. You got work in the morning. They fire you yet, Jimmy? You know, you're still working? Come on, stop that, Jimmy. You heard? You heard?
Oh, hell no.
So that's what's going on. And yes, I know I haven't shut up yet, but
My God, are you still talking?
yes, I am. I'm still talking. Sorry, folks. But that's what's going on. Who else is with us? Amber Lee, beautiful tooling. Hey. Alyssa Brown is with us. What up, guys? What up, Rob? Everybody's saying hello. That's what's going on. And I just, like I said, I'm going to try, I'm going to be doing my best to try and get more guests on going forward. Once Rob gets all settled in and he starts doing more of his leather work, I'll have him back on. I want him. He'll plug everything for you guys.
Yeah,
He'll tell everybody where his little shop is set up. He'll give links to wherever you can find some of his merchandise, and you'll be digging it. Like, we did a lot of cool stuff in that studio, right? I was making these amazing leather masks for a while.
They were definitely amazing.
And these are all hand shaped. It was great. And like I said, the binder, I had made the cover of the Park Slope paper that time when the studio first opened. I made the center whole thing. Look at this. I made the whole pamphlet pullout was all your boy. It was pretty cool.
It was your boy from Brooklyn.
You see? Look.
There he is.
Right there when I opened up the leather shop. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
You were quite young then. I just saw that photo.
I'm still young. Wait a minute. I'm still young. I just don't have the numbers to prove it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with me. I don't know. We're going to let that one go.
I'm still young out there. I didn't like the numbers they're giving me now. They're getting up there. But I'm going to post a bunch of pictures up on my social media. I still have all these pictures from when the studio was set up. Look, do you remember?
Yeah, beautiful.
Look.
Yeah.
No, it was amazing. The leather studio was great. I converted a double garage downstairs from where I lived. I converted the whole double garage into an entire leather studio. I had a bunch of sewing machines. I had leather tooling workshop set up in the front. I had an office in the back.
There was still a kitchen.
Yes, and I still had a kitchen.
There was a kitchen there.
Yeah.
With the copper countertops.
Yes, I made copper countertops.
I remember them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, the studio was great. I loved it. It was kind of short-lived. I only had it for about a year because I started the leather shop. I really got heavy duty into it. Like I said, that's my OCD thing. I get heavy duty into something and then that's it. I'm 100 miles an hour. I don't stop. So then after I had the leather studio, then I enrolled in FIT and went for accessory design. And then I just started working in the fashion industry as, started Coach, Kenneth Cole, Sears, Kmart, Land's End, you name it, Craftsman. I've done it. I've worked there, overseas, everywhere. And the idea is that when I, like I said, when I have this thing in my mind that there's something I want to do, I'm going to do all of it, 100% of it all the time, right? There's some of your work in here too.
Yeah, it's there.
No, come on. I still have this stuff. It means a lot to me. Like I said, the idea of us creating a friendship, carving out friendship over all these years because of our continued passion for leatherworking is just, amazing. And like I said, the idea of creative minds getting together and doing something, it works.
Special.
It works. Yeah. It does what it's supposed to do.
You know what? I can't say I've ever run into anyone else.
Yeah.
And that's the truth across the board.
Isn't that funny? I know a few, like I said, and what's funny is that now, like, I think artisan and craftsman, like the whole idea of the craftsman is coming
Everything
back.
pulls together.
Yeah, it's coming back. So a lot more people, I think, are getting into doing like things where they have to hone the skill, where they have to be good at something they do in order for people to acknowledge that. I think that's a good thing. Before the internet, what's funny is that, and I'm not saying there's not shady people out there, we all know, but the idea is that if you're doing something like this now, you have to put up or shut up now.
Yeah.
Because you can't fool nobody.
For real.
Because they put you on the spot right away. It's like, oh, no, you made that? You know how to do that? Oh, yeah, really? Come show me. So I told you that's why I like the YouTube.
What's the link? What's the link?
To what?
So I see how you do that.
Oh, yeah. So that's
now it's there.
Right. Now people do that a lot, though. What's funny is that you'll see somebody say, oh, I know how to do that. And I'm like, well, because you watched the video? You didn't do it. You watched the video. But, that's the difference. That's why I talk about that stuff a lot, too. The idea of the craftsman has to come back. It eventually has to, because who else is making these things?
The craftsman's got to come back.
It has to. Because this is.
It's not about that embossing wheel anymore.
Right. That's what those are.
Yeah, it's not the embossing wheel. For real.
So these things, when I was doing some belt making, I had a bunch of these things. So you'll see here, and what he was talking about, the machines, right? So these are all custom made. I used to make belts, a lot of belts. Like that was my specialty to make money, was that I could make a lot of belts quickly and well, and like some certain small wallets and things like that. And I learned how to sew on the machine. Your boy's an ace on a sewing machine. But also like certain machines, like he was saying, the embossing machine. So these belts were ran on an embossing machine because it allowed me to make a little bit of money quickly, so I didn't have to spend enough time, so I could spend more time making custom pieces. And that's what the difference was. But all these belt samples were made here by your boy. Made all these, beautiful belt samples. Here's a cool idea that I had. I wanted to get it moving, where I would recycle old bicycle tires and make belts out of them. Right? So these were just samples of the belts. But I would take materials that most people would think about just throwing away and just make things with them, right? So this is an old bicycle tire, and I cut it up. It takes a while. The process is a little bit long, and tedious, because you have to cut the tires a certain width and so on and so forth. And then gluing them and keeping them glued for a certain amount of time in order for them to stay, because you can't stitch through this thing. So the glue has to be super incredibly strong. And it is. I mean, eventually it'll peel apart, but the whole base of the belt was leather. I had my logo embossed there, and then the top part where you see was all bicycle tire.
And it looks amazing. I told you that one. It definitely does.
Different belt samples that I used to make, and I would bring them around to stores and retailers and say to them, hey, listen, I can make, a lot of belts for you, and then sell them. And all handmade, all solid leather, no fillers, no nonsense, no nothing. The back is made out of veg tan, and the top is made out of finished, beautiful leather, loom tanned or veg tan. I made belt buckles, custom belt buckles. I mean, I did just about everything. Anything I could think about, I was just like, let me try that.
I could do that.
Yeah, let me try that.
That's that creativity process.
Yeah.
It's important.
Extremely important.
Yeah.
My thing is, thinking about something is great. It's wonderful. You can think about something, but now do it, right? Take that thought that you had in your head and then go do it, whatever it is. I don't care if it's, I don't care if you want to learn how to dig ditches the best that you can. You better learn how to dig some ditch.
That's it. Get a couple of shovels and start digging.
There
you go. Look, if you got a plan, you just got to get out there and do it.
Listen to me. It's going today. Listen to me. I know. Throw the thumbs up if you like the content we have here. I got my boy Rob CORRAR with me, Brooklyn boy through and through, and we're talking about years of leather work that just couldn't be compared to anything that I've ever seen. And the idea of a friendship created through creativity is just incredible. And I love that idea. I love the idea of us being who we are. Like I just cannot. This man, him and I, we're good friends. So when we get together and we start getting carried away with all this stuff and throwing ideas out there to each other, and then now when we spoke, he's thinking about opening up another small little place. No, it's great. Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah. You know?
Waiting for the keys.
And so we're talking about sewing machines. So there is a certain amount of this process that takes a certain amount of equipment, right? So we were talking before, you need your swivel knife if you're going to be doing tooling, but you're also going to need some kind of sewing machine, right?
Yeah, sewing machine. There's a lot involved in tools. Fortunately, I still have them.
Yeah, all your hand tools. I know.
Yeah. I mean, I started dibbling and dabbling with this, I would say, about 35 years ago. I still have everything, which is knock on wood. And look, I got dyes, I got finishes. I got the leather already.
Right.
I did.
You bought some veg stand already?
I got 2, 3.
Hides?
I got 4,
Full
5.
or sides?
I got sides.
You got sides?
I got 2, 3 ounce. I got 4, 5 ounce. I got 6, 7 ounce. I got 8, 9 ounce.
Nice.
I got finishes for my interiors.
Oh.
I got
Did you buy calf? What'd you buy?
Yeah, I bought calf.
Calf.
I got some garment.
Okay.
For my outfits.
Yep.
That I used to make for the dances.
Yep. For the dances.
Yeah. Botswear, baby, botswear.
But to me, that's fantastic because having this idea of knowing and having a skill and honing your skill is something you can go back to time after time after time, right? I think a lot of people miss that.
Again, I'm very excited. It's a long time coming. I think I dropped the ball with this industry. I believe I dropped the ball with it.
But the idea is
at the time.
The talent.
I'm back though.
Yes, but the talent is still there. The talent never goes anywhere. That's number one. But number two, the idea is that wasn't for you at that time.
At that time.
At that time, that wasn't for you.
So, like I said, I'm excited. I'm waiting for the shop. I'm waiting to start building.
Me too.
Start building the shop, get the shop, get the machineries in.
And Rob's a one-man show, too. He's, people, birds of a feather flock together. That's just the way it is. Like, his carpentry skills are, incredible as well. So the idea is he's going to build his entire shop, just like I did.
To my specs, that's right.
Just the way he wants it. You know what I mean?
That's what's important, for sure. You have to have things rolling and moving and condensing and mending together how you see fit.
Yeah, because you don't want to get the goat. You set up your shop, folks. Don't get the goat. If you ain't setting up your shop properly and it looks like a mess and you're a hot mess, you get the goat.
That's what I'm hearing.
You're going to get the goat.
Shannon's not sending the goat to me, that's for sure.
Do not post up pictures of your shop if it's a hot mess. You're going to get the goat. No hot messes here, folks. Don't get the goat, all right? Clean your shop. Set it up nice. That's the way it is. Now, Rob and I, we're going to work on some projects. So make sure you are, again, we're going to throw it out there. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because Rob and I are going to put a couple of, I guarantee, first of all, I'm telling you right now, I know it. We're going to put a couple of videos together where we do some leather work on them. So you can see firsthand. Even if, what I can do and what I will probably do, because I don't know how much of the leather tools and stuff I'm going to be gathering myself much anymore. What do we got? Do we got over here? What do we got? Super chats coming in. What? Who's coming in with Yolanda? Whoa, Yolanda sent in the super duper chat again this week. Yolanda, I can't say thank you enough. That's what's up. Big bang, boom, ba. Don't you worry. It's going to be fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, they charge me tax too. It's going to be fantastic. Yeah, we're going to share it with Rob. Don't you worry. We going to get Rob set up. That's for sure. No doubt about that. You heard? So the super chat, thank you, Yolanda, very much. But I'm excited about Rob setting up the shop. And what we'll do is, because I have the camera equipment, all this stuff, and the mobility, once you get the shop set up there, we could do some filming there too. It's not like you got to come back here. We
bounce back and forth.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
sure.
you know, I could take the equipment with us.
I see it.
We'll shoot some footage at the studio, like you actually working in the studio. That's what we're gonna film.
I'm liking it.
Yeah. So that this way everybody out there can see what a craftsman you are. That is stuff that you're going to be missing out on as these years grow on, is that the manufacturing process has become so far distant from the actual craftsman. But not in this case. You know, you'll see it, you know, firsthand. So Rob, tell everybody what and how long before like you really got good at tooling.
You know what? That saying, a natural. I was hard on myself, but I was a natural at it.
Right.
I was.
Well, not natural.
I was a
I
natural.
know everybody says I'm a natural. Yeah, I get it.
I was a natural
but
when
here's,
it came to that.
No,
yeah.
listen to me. Come on. If you took out the first piece you did in comparison to what you've done, you know, more recent, it's totally different.
I saw it.
Right. Well, I'm not saying that you didn't have the drive and the ability to do
where
it.
I saw it? I saw it on a craft day. I made a clutch bag
Right.
for someone when I was in college.
Right.
And you know the technique of dyeing and
Yes.
finishing.
Yes.
On how it can affect a piece. It affected a piece, not to my standards.
Right.
So I made another one.
Right.
Okay. That was already sold.
Right.
I wound up seeing that piece like 10, 12 years later. And that's when I saw that I was a natural.
Gotcha. But I'm going to go back to this again. Okay. Here we go. It takes practice. This isn't something that, you know, like you're going to say, oh, I'm going to tool my first thing and it's going to be amazing. Because tooling leather is not easy.
No,
it's not an easy thing to do.
You must learn the swivel knife before any tool.
Right.
And look, I got 300 different stamping tools.
Right.
That gives you an impression a quarter of the size of your nail.
Right.
Or smaller.
But putting them together to actually make it look like something is totally different. But what I'm saying is that I don't want anybody to get this idea or that like, oh, I'm going to pick up the tools and then tomorrow I'm going to make this beautiful clutch that he did that's like, you know, 17, 20 pieces and special glues and whatever. Don't get that false misconception out there to people. Like, you have to do all your homework. Like when Rob's saying, oh, I'm a natural, I get it. He's really good at what he does. And that's why he, you know, makes pieces like this. But let me tell you something. The amount of research and studying and all the things and the things that he practiced on that he's telling everybody he didn't do, that he's bullshitting everybody right now. He had practice pieces, little pieces where he learned to dye things and tool things and looked and then checked. And then he made these.
The trial and error.
Trial and error. But that's the part I'm talking about. This is going to take a little bit. This is not something.
It's not an overnight
thing.
That's
you know,
by far.
And I don't want people to get that misconception. It's an incredible talent. And it's his tenacity to do what he wanted to do is, to me, is which shows the craftsman that he is, because, you know, it is something that's not that easy to pick up, right? Because you could try something else that maybe is not as entailed, where it doesn't need special tools and learn how to listen. You could glue a piece of leather down to a stone wrong, and then try and tool on it and take it off, and it shrinks and curls and does things. So
there's a mistake at every turn.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to explain, is that, you know, there is a learning curve, and that's in anything. There's a learning curve. But the idea is that the gratification for what you create at the end is, it's incredible. And when I look at the work that you've done that's 30 and 40 years old, and I go, no, you couldn't even imagine this these days. People just wouldn't understand it. You know, and it's like, yeah, you could go to the store and buy something like this, and they pulled this out off of a press and they pressed the whole thing out. But it's hand dyed, hand painted. This is all hand tooled, stretched properly, lined properly. And that's it. That's all I got to say. Nobody gets the goat today. All right. Nobody gets the goat today, but that's all right, you know? And that's the way it goes. You can't please everybody. That's for sure. And it's just been an absolute wonderful day, a wonderful Sunday. It's just amazing to be in Rob's company again and to have those ideas, as I said, carving out the friendship that we have over all these years, and then looking back, and I talked about this on one of the other podcasts too, is that having that tangible memory, right? And my buddy does with the jewelry for me, and then Rob had made these pieces for me, and I will keep these. Like, these are things that I keep, because this is made for me by somebody. This is the memory they wanted me to have. So this means just a tremendous amount to me, and I don't know what to say. That's just how it is. Like I said, I ain't gonna get emotional on you, so you forget that part right there. All right. But it's been an amazing journey, and we've created a friendship, a lifetime, just like the card says. I'm gonna read this here so we can all get the understanding of this, right? Is that here's to forever friendship and a lifetime of leather he carved in here. Happy birthday, big guy. That's it. Much love. What else is there? And then I have this to remind me every single time I look at it. And the utility fact of it, and when I do travel and I carry notepads with me everywhere, because me, I write every idea I have down on a piece of paper. And then I put my little notebooks in here, and then I carry this thing with me. Every time I open it up and I go, yeah, then the creativity starts, because he planted the seed already. We talked about that too, sowing them seeds. He planted that seed already in my head, and that's why I have it, and that's why I still have it, and that's why I never get rid of it. And that's what's up right there. We have these cookies are probably not good anymore, but I have a tradition that I do on here, and I haven't had a guest on in a while, so we're gonna do it, everybody. But before we do it and we get into this whole thing, you know how it is. I'm going to ask you one more time. Listen, subscribe to my channel if you like the content. It's very, very important. You heard? And get your bell rung, folks, with your boy from Brooklyn, Shannon Ambrosio, so you get notified next time I'm on live doing my podcast, which is Sundays, the Everything and Nothing podcast, and when I put up my videos, the cooking and eating and the building and fixing videos. You can find links to them things down there in the description below. All right. You follow me on all my social media. There they are. I'm on all of them, the Instagrams, the books, the talkers, the tickers, all of them right there. The talk tickers, the LinkedIn and the Twitters, and I'm all over the place there with all the social media. So make sure you just follow me on all those things. I put up pictures, like stuff like these things that, I don't get really to showcase on the podcast yet. We will be developing that once I get the Stream Deck set up a little bit more, so that like I've been doing with the pictures that I post. I didn't have a chance to do it this week, where I actually can show the viewers pictures of all this stuff during the podcast. But I didn't do any of that because I had all these pictures in pictures. And in order for me to make them look good, I have to put them in the computer first and do a little bit something to them so they don't look funny on the screen. But, if you liked what I have going on here, and you enjoy my company, which I do, and I love to share this stuff with you guys out there. It's very important to me that you guys understand how much I cherish the people and my guests and my friends that come on here and spend time with me doing this. Means so much to me. And, share it if you think somebody else may find this interesting or totally fucking hilarious.
The thumbs up.
Yeah, throw the thumbs. That's how it is.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Makes you get notified. But also, if you have any questions or comments about leatherwork, tooling, and all that stuff, leave them down below. I'll try and answer them as best I can.
Now you got an avenue for this.
Right. And eventually, hopefully, we'll be transferring all that stuff over to Rob so he can get some of this stuff out there. And you folks out there can see how talented this man really is. Very important to me. And yes.
My God, are you still talking?
Yes, I am. Sorry, folks. Sorry, I am. But you can also find the podcast if you don't want to watch it and you just want to listen to the audio podcast. You'll find that on all these podcasting platforms that are right there on the screen. I also have links to all of them below. So if you want, do that. I have affiliate links to like equipment that I use for my podcast, all that stuff. It all helps the podcast. So if you click in the affiliate links, doesn't matter what you purchase in Amazon. Once you click on my affiliate link, no matter what there's a little fly in here, that some bitch right there. He taking up my time and shit. So if you find anything down there in the affiliate link and you click on it and you purchase anything, it helps your boy out. Every little bit is going to count. It goes towards the creation and the content of my channel. So thank you very much out there. And for all my super chats today, Yo, big shout out. That's what's up. Now you know this is how it works, right? So I'm gonna put these in the middle. Rob, you pick one up. Anyone. I'm gonna pick this one up. All right. I wouldn't suggest eating them. I gotta change the fortune cookies. I haven't had people on in a while, right? They might be stale. But now you have your fortune cookie. You give me yours, and I'm gonna give you mine. And what that does, and that signifies, is that whatever good fortune you picked up for yourself, you are willing to pass that on to somebody else. So you know, yeah, that's my deal right there, folks. You know how it is. Pass on your fortune or your goodness and kindness to somebody else. That's what really matters most of the time. You heard? So get your fortune cookie all opened up over there. I'm gonna get another drink here. You need a refill?
Oh.
You dropped it already? Watch the headphones. Don't disconnect.
The cookie I dropped.
Oh, you got the fortune?
I did.
Oh, that's what we need. Don't worry about the cookie. You ain't gonna eat it now. Well, you get the 5-second rule. My floors are clean anyway. You need water?
Yeah, I'll take a touch.
So that's how it goes here. We pass on our good fortune to everybody else.
And I like that.
Try not to steal all of it. You can have most of it, but just give a little bit away.
Wow.
You heard? So read it for us, Rob.
I'm not gonna be able to see it. I saw enough.
No, let's talk into the mic.
Again, I'm not gonna be able to see this. I don't have my glasses, so I did see it, and it's special.
Read it. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
All right. So that's all that matters.
Attend to business today.
Is that what it says?
That's what it says. Attend to business today.
Do you listen to me, folks? I know sometimes I get carried away here with this whole idea of transcendence, messaging, passing on fortunes and letting people know in mysterious ways and how people connect and how things happen, right? It's a fortune cookie. It really is meaningless, almost.
But again,
until
attend to business today. Leave that street side flower alone.
Right. So that's the idea. The idea is that I was given that fortune, right? And that would have made sense for me too, attend to business. I'm constantly attending to business. But Rob needed that from me today to let him know that, yo, dude, this thing that you're thinking about doing, no, it's time. Yeah. It's time to go do that. So let's do that, And I'm glad I had the ability to share that message with him today, right? So here's another great one for me, right? The real essence of work is concentrated energy. No, come on. If that doesn't make sense, right? So when you want something to work, all your energies, and I talk about this a lot too, have to be concentrated on something.
You can't just be jumping around and here and there and
no, you can't.
Concentrate.
Yes, concentrate on exactly what it is that you want to do. And like the fortune says, the real essence of work is a concentrated energy. True fact, folks. And that's how it goes down. I don't have much more to say except for that we know how it goes. We all have a voice and we all have a message and we all should be seen and we should all be heard. So remember that, folks. And remember, every day is a good day, especially when you're in company of good friends and good people. It's important. And if you give a smile, you gonna get a smile, folks, right? Tell them out there.
Pass it on.
Pass it on.
Pass it on.
Make it count. Rob, tell everybody we'll see them later.
Listen, we're going to cut out, keep it real, pass it on, keep smiling.
Yeah, that's all I got to say. Peace out.